Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Ray. Welcome to the Alchemy of Stress. I have to excuse the radio silence. I've been working on a 30-day exploration of potential and alchemy, learning to work with energy as a healing potential. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the link in the description box. It's on my other channel, Love, Light and Alchemy. But here today, I wanted to talk a little bit about how we feel stress in the body and how that will help us to work energetically and learn to alchemize, transform. Alchemize, transform, it's the same thing, but it's in an energetic sense. So how we can learn to alchemize the stress that we're holding, we're carrying in the body. And there's a very simple way we can start to connect and understand the patterns, understand how the body is trying to help you, actually, how it's communicating. And in stress, normally that means in a discomfort of some kind. And the first shift we can make is to understand that that discomfort is actually the body saying, look here, there's something for you to bring into awareness. There's something that you can engage with which will help the body release the tension, the discomfort, and it will also help you take back your power in some way and to reconnect where stress has caused you to disconnect from what you're experiencing in the body, that disconnect from your physical presence, which is so important to feel safe in the body, to feel grounded, okay? But it's a disconnect in many ways, and I talk about that in my audio course, The Alchemy of Stress. So if you haven't already, check that out. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to start to communicate and engage with what your body is showing you. And what you'll find is that when you're feeling stressed, either just day to day, that tension, that feeling of agitation or anxiety or heaviness, because stress can be felt in many different ways in the body. It can either be day to day or it can be in that rather intense trigger, that overwhelm, unable to function in the way that we want to because of this emotional, mental, or physical overwhelm, that feeling of intense discomfort in the body that can come on very strongly. And what we'll find is that we'll feel that somewhere in the body. And you may be aware where you're holding tension, or the body is holding tension out of habit. It's become a habit through that repeated stress experience or cycle. And understanding where you're holding stress in the body is really helpful, because it will help you understand the patterns that are keeping you in that repeat cycle of stress. We can hold stress in different areas. So we can hold stress in that first chakra, the base of the spine, and we can hold stress in the hips, in the buttocks, in the thighs, in this area. And this is an energy center that is related very much to feeling safe. And of course, when you're feeling stressed, and you've experienced stress probably most of your life, if you're experiencing stress, severe stress as an adult, it starts quite often early on in life. And that not feeling safe causes a tension in that lower area of the body, the base, the root chakra, the first chakra, okay? And then moving up, I'll go all the way through the chakras, and then you can see what resonates with you. Moving up, we're coming into the second chakra, and that's in the lower belly, okay? And if you tend to have anxiety or a feeling of discomfort in this area, this is to do with not feeling safe in who you are, being able to really show up authentically and creatively, feeling free to really engage in what it is you love, okay? And it's really to do with our relationship to who we are, relationship to everything, because the relationship we have with ourselves determines our relationship with everything else. So again, the body's giving you clues as to where you're feeling discomfort, tension, or an imbalance in your health. Okay, moving up. We're now in the solar plexus. Sorry, you can't see the rest of me, but now we're in the solar plexus, the third energy center. This is a very common area where we can feel tension when we're stressed, that tightness, that really, the knot in this area. And again, each of the energy centers, we've got physical aspects of our body. So here it's very much the diaphragm, it's the adrenals. There is a physical aspect. But in energy terms, and this is what I find is really interesting in terms of the origin of the stress, this is all about your personal power, okay, and feeling powerful in yourself, in your presence as you show up in the world. And if we don't feel that, we don't feel powerful, we don't feel safe in the way that we can show up in our power. For example, we need to people please, or we need to keep a low profile in some way, or we feel that, we can't show up too much. There are lots of nuances here, but here there's a need to control. There's a need to control yourself, and there's a need to control, to micromanage perhaps, to make sure everything's under control. And that already takes an awful lot of energy and can create stress in itself. Okay, so again, if you hold tension in the solar plexus, it's another clue. Coming up into the heart space, okay, this energy center, again, any symptoms around this area, to difficulty breathing, asthma, congestion, any heart-related issue, blood pressure, this kind of thing, again, it's giving you a clue as to where the origin of stress is, energetically speaking, where we hold our tension, where we hold something in. This is all about being able to feel deeply, and if we're holding in emotions, particularly in the heart center, it's about holding in hurt and anger, things that we don't feel safe feeling, first and foremost. Perhaps we don't feel safe feeling these things. And very much related to tension in the throat is we don't feel expressing who we are, whether it's expressing our needs, expressing our feelings. It can be crying, it can be rage, and all of the emotions that we have as humans, they are all healthy, or they have healthy expressions, put it that way. And when we hold them in, okay, we're holding energy in, and this has to be put somewhere in the body. It's not that natural flow of our emotions, what we're feeling, how we express ourselves. So again, the body is giving you lots of clues. Coming up into the sixth energy center, this is about your third eye, your intuition, but it's also in a stress state, a very overactive yang energy in terms of, a lot of thoughts, a lot of needing to know, a lot of ruminating perhaps on the past, trying to second guess what's happening in the future because you don't feel safe in the present. Or you're being pulled, your mind is scattered because you feel perhaps confusion or not feeling centered in yourself. Okay? And then you have the last energy center, which is essentially about feeling safe in that connection to who you are. And energetically speaking, as I talk about a lot in my other channel, it's energetically we are consciousness. Okay, and if this is new to you, I don't know. I'm not sure who I'm talking to at the moment because this channel is new, but I'm trusting that if you're here, you are experiencing stress in some way and you're interested in learning how to heal. So again, if you're interested, check out my other channel. It might speak to you. So again, we don't tend to have many issues at the top of our head, but you might have that sense energetically. But it's the other energy centers that are really going to help you understand your patterns in stress, what your body might be holding, and at the same time how your body is communicating with you. And it's how we engage and how we respond to that, because often in stress we're in a very reactive state and the body doesn't feel comfortable, so we don't think about, our first thought isn't about, okay, let's connect and see what the body is showing me. But that's essential, actually, if you want to heal your stress for good. Okay, not just manage your stress, not just become resilient, having to cope with more and still feel that discomfort. It's healing stress for good, okay? So that's just, see what resonates. What are you experiencing? Where do you feel that tension? How is your body trying to communicate with you? And that's a shift in itself, that your body's not against you, even though it feels deeply uncomfortable at times. It's learning to engage with and to communicate with your body in a way that becomes healing. And that's where we start to work with alchemy, transforming what's been held in the body, okay, and working energetically. So if you're interested, do check out the Alchemy of Stress. The link is in the description box. Tell me about your experience. Comment below what it is you're experiencing. Ask me questions. That's why I'm here, okay? I'd love to hear more from you, so I understand who I'm talking to, who subscribed to this channel so far. Thank you for being here if you have subscribed. And again, I'm sorry I've been a bit absent the last couple of weeks because of this other 30-day exploration that I'm doing on my other channel. Okay, so if you found this interesting, please do click the like button, share with people who might be in need of a bit of support with their stress, and I look forward to seeing you in the next post.